I'm dying, this picture is too cute. Okay, first thing on import, I'll play my action, which I believe you have. And this is pretty much perfect. Might bump exposure once, looks pretty good, and then maybe I'll bring these highlights down just a tiny bit. And then that is probably all I would do in here. I'll probably fix this. You were saying it's kind of muddy over here, so I would fix that over in Photoshop. But this is perfect, lighting is awesome. Yeah, so let's take this into Photoshop, random name, and then I'll show you how I would fix this background real quick. So first thing I do is play portraiture. Even though her skin is very, there's not really any blemishes or anything on it, but I'll show you the before and after. So I just like how it kind of polishes everything. Yeah, so I usually just play portraiture on everything. And then I would go over here and get this patch, the spot healing brush, and just click these little tiny, she really has like perfect skin, just like these little tiny flakes. But other than that, don't really have to do much. And then the next thing I would do is kind of fix these reds. So she's got kind of redness here, some red in her forehead. This leg is a little bit red. So to do that, you make a hue saturation layer, which is over here in your adjustments. So hue saturation, and then up here where it says master, you click that and then you click reds. Choose this dropper on the left, and then you pick a red that you want to remove. So I'm going to say this kind of red area here on her forehead. Choose that. And then I can't remember if I've showed you this, but it's going to look a little weird for a second, but you take the hue and you drop it all the way down, and then you grab this right little arrow and you pull that until it's only highlighting that red most color of her skin. So a lot here, her leg. And then you bring your hue back up. I usually find like somewhere around, maybe with her, we'll do like 4, and then bump it up a little bit lighter, right about there, I think. Then the skin looks nice and creamy. And then the best thing about Photoshop, so we don't want to remove the redness of her mouth. So what Photoshop is awesome for are these masks. So you click the mask, this white box, and then you go to your brush over here, brush, and then you flip it so that it's black, and that's going to erase whatever you have done over here on this layer. So I have my brush, I'll make it a little bit bigger, and then you pretty much just erase what you've done. So I'm erasing that redness remover from her mouth, a little bit on her lips, and then I'll probably erase it a little bit off her cheeks so we have a little more color on her little cheeks. And then I'm gonna bring the opacity, of the brush up here, I'm gonna bring that down maybe to 50, and I'll add some more color back in her little fingertips. And yeah, I think that probably looks pretty good. And then I'll show you what I would do with the background. So now you've got this hue saturation layer, and you can either leave it, or I like to flatten my images while I work. So you just go up to layer, and then down here is flatten. Or there's shortcuts. I'm not sure if you're on a Mac, but I usually just Google shortcuts for Photoshop. So the background. So let's make a new layer. So you can go layer, new layer. Actually, sorry, scratch that. I'm just gonna make a duplicate of the background. So that's Command J as a shortcut. And now we have 2 layers. So anything I do on this layer, you're gonna be able to just delete it and it's not gonna harm the image. That's what Photoshop is so great for. So, okay, new layer, Command J, or possibly Control J if you're on a PC. And then I'm gonna use my brush again, make it bigger, and then you click Option on a Mac, Option click, and that's gonna create that color choice over here. And then I'll probably bring this opacity down 30-ish and just sort of paint over back here. Paint over this. Paint a little bit more. Maybe do a little swoop around the whole image. And I know that looks crazy right now because she's kind of covered. So over here, there's this little box with a circle in it. Click that and that creates a layer mask. And since it's white, we want to make sure our brush over here is black. Then we know it's going to erase. So I'll bring my brush back up to 100 and that will 100% erase the marks we made on her. Make sure we get her all uncovered. Some people like to leave a little bit of this blending on the baby, but I always like to remove every bit of it. Make sure we get everything. Her hair. She's so stinking cute. Okay. So that's pretty close to what I would do. I might, so it looks like there's some mark over here. So first I'll flatten this and then zoom in over here and I'll go over back to my patch tool, and all I'm gonna do is just grab this and move it over to a spot that's clean. Okay, so that looks good. And then I might do the same for this line up here. Grab that, bring it down. Oops, try that again. Bring it down. I don't like the texture, so I'm gonna do that differently. That looks better. And I think that's pretty good. I don't know that I would do much more. I don't know if you have any of like Erin Toll's actions, but she has all of these fades. So you can play these fades that create kind of this soft background look, which is pretty much what we did with the brush, but in case you want to play around with that. And I'd probably bring this in just a tiny bit. And yeah, I would call that good. It's so cute. This is awesome. All right, I'm gonna send you this video. Hopefully that helps.